This is Netta J, and this is topic of discussion. And I have my friend
Steve Stokes.
Oh, you have to go give them your other alias?
I got too many.
Damn, you be switching your names like I do? I have a name. I have a name for everything. But this is Steve Stokes. Shout out to him, because he came on this at the last minute.
I mean,
he was supposed to sit back, chill, and relax and watch, and he ended up being my guest for tonight because of the topic that we're having. But before we get into the topic, how has your week been so far?
I mean, being that I was supposed to be in your studio audience today, anything can happen on TOD, so it's just a pleasure to be able to be on TOD with you. My week it's been a rough week, honestly. I mean, I've had some ups, I've had some downs. Right now I'm on the downside of the thing, but with the conversation that we've been having, in the studio, it's been
you got me
my
feel like,
perspective.
hold on, pause. When you say in the studio, you have me feeling like I'm about to drop the dopest mixtape ever.
I mean, the people that's viewing back, at home can't see the setup, but I mean, the mixtape is on the way. Let me tell you, it's gonna be Josette and the gang. I can't pronounce the name right, but it's coming, y'all.
Josette
And the gang. It's gonna be just like the first NWA mixtape. Only it's gonna do numbers.
I'm gonna be like Eazy-E, how he couldn't rap, but then he turned out to be great.
Yeah, only I'm not writing for you. I mean, Ice Cube wrote for him, but I'm not writing.
Rap. I can't imagine no one writing for me. I hate that.
I mean,
I feel like
all you gotta do is put your vocals on the track.
But how can you express something that someone else wrote if you can't feel it? Yeah, I like to feel lyrics because I write sometimes myself. And if you wrote on a piece of paper, go play with the ball, how am I supposed to know like how you was feeling when you wrote that lyric?
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I go through that myself sometimes, as a poet, and I wish, maybe on one of your discussions we could talk about that, because I don't want to, lose sight of today's topic.
But this is the intro, so we can't. Well, I get it. Okay.
That's one of the things that we, as artists, you have to know how to feel other people, and you good at feeling other people. You just gotta steal their energy and deliver. It's a lot easier than you think. I mean,
that seems like a whole other journey, like, because I feel other people, but I don't think I could feel someone in what they're writing on paper and them telling me, oh, execute that, put that in the song, give me.
Y'all gotta forgive us. I'm gonna give a shameless plug. SO Photography 3. We gonna get her on the map, y'all. I just need all the viewers out there, when the album drop, the mixtape come out, I just need you to copy it. Give it a couple clicks so that we can do numbers. It's happening. Okay.
Anyway, so in the next year I'm gonna be an artist.
I
already write though. So.
You write,
but what makes it easy. What makes it crazy is I don't know why I never got into like the whole writing like songs and lyrics, because I'm a dope ass writer. Like I really am.
Okay.
Like I just love writing about shit. But anyways, so shout out to me. I went back and listened to all the albums that have dropped in the recent weeks. I haven't listened to Nas yet.
And then that ends topic of discussion for the day. Like, you didn't listen to.
I'm gonna go listen to Nas in the morning when I'm getting dressed. He had 7 songs on his album, right?
He did, and I mean that just makes it all the more dope. You talking about King Nasir, like he's stillmatic. Like,
I apologize, Nas. I will go back and listen to your album, but I did listen to Drake.
Shout out to the boy Drake. I mean, I've not always been a fan. I hear he had Michael on the album. I ain't heard the track yet, but they say Michael ain't been the same since he did that dying thing. His music ain't been the same. So
I did go back and listen to Drake, and
Pusha T definitely gave him a run for his money. I don't understand why
You know,
he's
I
still
wonder
doing
who
it.
told Pusha about that baby though. Like the media is saying Kanye slipped that because Drake hadn't let Kanye listen to his album, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, when you think about it, Pusha T is like, he's like the East Coast version of Easy E. Like, he's an original gangster. He can get information if he wanted. And now with social media, come on, you can't tell me that Pusha been out the game for a minute and he ain't just been asleep. He been studying because he got to be able to come at people like Drake. I mean,
He really did come for Drake.
and that's only because Baby and Wayne keep sending Drake out there to get people and get people. And
As far as his album, I kind of understood where people were saying, "Oh, okay, it wasn't that great." I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it on a level that I have enjoyed previous Drake albums. However, I did like the second side of the album because it's all love and heartbreak and shit. Like
OVO sound, you know that.
October is very shout out, my birthday's in October, you guys.
Shout out to the Carters. Their album was dope. I'm not a Beyonce fan.
You know what? Today, while I was at work, I did go back and listen to their albums, and I added a few songs. Well, their album, excuse me. I added a few songs to my playlist. Let's see here. I like how they work together. I really feel like they feed off of each other. If I believed in relationship goals, that would be my relationship goal.
To do an album together?
No, like to feed off each other the way that they do. I just love it, but I don't believe in relationship goals. So.
When you go through what they've been through, you gonna work together. And for them to surprise everybody, it's no telling how long that album was, in the making. I'm sure they had their
But they did not
differences.
have to drop it the day that Nas, the weekend, or the day, right? Was it the day?
It was the day
that Nas dropped his. That was kind of petty, a little bit.
I mean, I respect the Carters and what they got going on because Jay-Z spit a line in the song Friends. And basically,
I like that song.
He said, if him and his wife going through it, he ain't dealing with nobody, nothing. He gonna stay in the house even if it's burning down. Like, that's commitment to a relationship. And when I heard that, I was like, shoot, I want to be like you when I grow up. I want to be that committed to my relationship.
Shit, because he know he be dishing that shit in the relationship. His ass better stay in it so it won't burn down.
I mean, for me, it might be a couple, flames up, and I stand outside and wait on you. But I'm not there. He said Tata take care of his kids. I got people that'll do the same for me, but I don't know if I'm that vested just yet.
What I was gonna say, the album was okay. I can honestly say I miss the old Beyonce. I don't want to say the old Beyonce. I miss the Beyonce before she got married. You get what I mean?
I understand.
She's a rapper now, which means I can turn into a rapper.
I feel like originally before I heard the project, I wasn't with it because I feel like both Beyonce and Jay are just putting out music because people will buy it. Drake once said he could sell 1 million records saying nothing with just his name on it. And I feel like at this point that's where Jay-Z and Beyonce are. If they put her picture on the front and featuring Jay-Z, it could be a blank CD with nothing on it and thousands of people will buy it.
It just amazes me how they control so much of, people.
Back in the day when we were younger, people used to say, I want to be like Mike. I'm surprised people not saying I want to be like Jay-Z. I mean, everybody had hoop dreams back in, in the 90s and things. But Jay-Z, he said it himself in the American Gangster album, he turned crack rock into a chain of clubs, the 40/40 clubs. That's the American dream, taking a little bit or nothing and turning it into something as big as Rock Nation. Like,
I can honestly say, I love his struggle.
I mess with it. And then shout out to Hove because he was born on December 4th, and that date has a special place in my heart. So shout out to Hove one time.
But like I was saying, I do miss the Beyonce before the marriage. I guess because I can't relate. I can't relate to being married.
That's a
I
whole.
that's the
I'm
that's the.
7 months in and I'm still trying to
I mean, I
relate to it.
I can't relate to that. What I can relate to is the Beyonce before the the marriage. You know, well, I can relate to her to an extent. Not all the way, but overall, the album was okay. I will be attending the concert next month here. So I had to listen to something so I can know what the hell I'll be singing in the crowd. So, um,
Nothing wrong with that.
I went back and listened to Jacquees' album.
Is it a good album? I hadn't had a chance to. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have to download that.
It
Shout out
was
to Apple Music.
it was okay, but I don't understand why Bed is on this album. I feel like Bed came out 6 years ago.
You talking about? I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna embarrass myself on the internet here.
Bed is on the album.
You talking about? And I'm a rocky body. Turn you over. Love is warm.
No, Bed by Jacquees.
Okay.
I know you wanna rub. Yeah, that song.
Oh my God! See, I done still embarrassed myself. Somebody, cameraman G, I need you to edit that part out so nobody know I said the whole wrong lyrics. I was thinking about.
At least you was confident. You can do all the wrong shit, but be confident with it.
I mean, you know, you can't tell me shit. I'm Muhammad Ali out here in these streets. Sometimes I'm the people's champ.
I don't like it.
I'm gonna be wrong, but I'm gonna whoop your ass in the process, type shit.
But I just don't understand.
Supposed to curse on TOD? I don't know.
It's fine. I don't understand why Bed is on that album, but nevertheless, it was a good album. I liked it.
He's probably trying to bring that flavor back because you know we're missing that. I was just talking to somebody the other day, thinking to myself, you got the classics like the Isley Brothers, the Anita Bakers that the older folk listen to. Who we gonna have when we get
not a damn
60 or 70? Like Robin Thicke done, you know, messed it up.
I'm gonna take it back, honey. I'm gonna go to Tony.
Jamie might be good for it in certain parts. That unpredictable.
That was a good album, but we don't have nobody.
We should. Mix master. When we do the mixtape, we gonna focus on sensual soul music. That's what Joe said is gonna be, you know, dropping, coming in the next year or two.
But you know what's crazy? I was telling my boyfriend, if I ever did a mixtape, I want to take all the songs that my grandmother listened to while my grandfather was out being a whore and remake them. I think that would be so dope.
So all I'm saying is, why not do it? I mean,
I think that would be so
let's make it happen.
Dope.
Let's make it happen.
But I mean, that would take you back to what, Millie Jackson, Gladys Knight, oh my gosh, all like Etta James, all of those old soul singers. Well, I really wouldn't count Millie Jackson as this. Some of y'all don't even know who the hell Millie Jackson is.
I mean, but that's where you come and educate them. Like.
But I do know if I ever get in the studio, I want to remake all the songs that my grandmother listened to every freaking Friday when my grandfather wasn't home. Oh, I gotta make that happen now.
In the next
it's on
year,
my bucket list.
The mixtape is coming in the next year. Please support. She's not gonna be like Nas and do only 7 songs. It's gonna be a 5 feature track for the first time around. Shout out to the number 5. But that's, you know, it's gonna happen in the next year to date.
Would you listen, cameraman?
As long as you don't sound like Erica Mena, I'm good.
I gotta be funny. You gotta buy the order. I agree with him.
Erica.
I mean,
I like Erica.
I feel like the way that you would do it, and with you and, you know, you and your man's, the way that he has supported you, I feel like you might even be able to bring that that Lauryn Hill flavor to it, because he he gives you that Wyclef rebellion, like, I don't understand what you're doing, but I'm not gonna stop you at times. Sometimes he do want to tell you to pump your brakes, but everybody needed a little checkmate in their life, you know what I'm saying?
I don't like to be checked.
don't we know it? Don't we know it? That's why salute to him, because he a brave one. He do it.
At least I'm honest. I live in my truth. I don't like to be checked. Don't check me. Check me. I didn't send for you.
Don't come for me if I ain't sent for you. If I ain't learned nothing being in the South, I learned not to come for somebody when they ain't sent for you.
Oh gosh. I hope I can just go back. Oh, there it is. Okay. Excuse me. I was messing with my tablet. It got out of my whole podcast. But it's still recording, which is great. It is what it is. So with that being said, I think it is time for us to move on with the topic of the night. And you know what's crazy is I started doing a poll on social media, Instagram, and Facebook. Add me on Facebook is Netta J. Add me on Instagram. It is beautifully preserved. BEYOUTIFULLY
See the link in the description below.
Yeah, it's there. Exactly. So I started doing these polls on Facebook and Instagram, and this week I put up, do you attend church? Yes or no? And surprisingly, I got a lot of people who don't attend church. And last week, we got into talking about, cheating. And at the end of the topic of discussion, I asked this question, like, I'm trying to think, how did I word that question last week? Like, I believe I said that, do you think that the reason why, a lot of relationships and stuff may not work is because the couples aren't, attending church together, being active in church, and having God front and center in their relationship. And I wanted to talk about that some more.
And I saw it and I had to jump on, and be in the live studio audience. Sometimes I'm able to be here live, sometimes I'm not. But when she told me I was actually going to be able to talk about this as a man in the church, and people tell me I'm of the cloth sometimes because I go to church, I just had to take advantage of this one because that's a heavy one.
It is. So, let's talk about going to church. I was surprised at the percentage of people who don't go to church. And then today I posted on Facebook, but I'm trying to think, what was my status on Facebook this morning? But it got a lot of feedback.
Well, let's go.
Oh, do you attend church, right?
Let's go to it. I mean, we can do that, right?
Yeah, it's do you attend church? And a lot of the people who commented don't attend church, and they started giving like the various reasons, and Steven is pulling it up. Is it there? Oh. What's the reason you do not attend church?
And you got 82 comments. This was only a half of a day ago, and it's reasons from too typical. Somebody said
too hypocritical.
I'm sorry. Too typical. I mean, that is a reason though. Shout out to Reading is Fundamental. Shout out to www.education.org.
A lot of the people feel like it's a business.
Some people said that it keeps you too long. They keep you all day and night. They want all of your time. One person said they don't have an open bar. I mean, technically they do. Catch first Sunday, they give you a little cup. You open it yourself.
Hold on, wait. I thought that was so funny that she had put that. Do you think more people would attend church if it was an open bar? Like if you got lit to serve Jesus?
I feel like they would, but they wouldn't, because for the same reason that a lot of people said it's too hypocritical. I mean, and this came across my timeline earlier today. you can't for you to get that kind of response. I'm surprised when you got hashtag church hurt trending as a
Hold
topic.
on. I just want to know, how did church hurt become
Go viral? Like,
how did it go viral? Like, what happened?
I don't even stay connected to the world like that to know. I guess that's why they say I'm in the church too much, because I consider that as the world. Like,
but anyway, since you're here and you made it to the altar, shout out to him. He's 7 months
I
in,
did
right?
do that 7 months in as of last week.
Shout out to you. You making it to a lot of places where a lot of people
said I wasn't gonna do it, but I did. So that's all that matters.
In your relationship with your wife, did you guys have like God in that relationship like all the way?
I'm gonna be honest with you. No, we didn't. The way that we got together, I don't feel like it was of God, but she would tell me a lot that God told her that she was gonna be with me, and I'm one of those people that doesn't believe that God talks to the woman when it comes to who you're gonna be with. The God talks to the man. He lets the man know that that's the one for you. And
So did God talk to you about her being the one for you?
A couple of years later, maybe a year and a half later, he was like, he tapped me on the shoulder, and I was like, "What's up?" And he says, "That's yours. Like, go get that for me." And I'm like, "What you talking about?" Like. And he just was like, "Stop playing with me. Go get that."
But do you think you had to be on a certain level with God in order for you to understand this is the woman that you're supposed to, marry?
Yes and no. I feel like I had to be in a certain place position-wise and maturity-wise. Like, because it's kind of like if you would have told Steve Jobs, like, you're going to be the head of Apple Corporation when he was trying to build the first Macintosh, we wouldn't see Apple where it is today. Or if you would have told Bill Gates, "Look, dude, you're gonna be a billionaire." If you would have told Warren Buffett that invest in those first couple dollars, you wouldn't put in as much work. So God had to let me go through some things to work for it, and then He said, "Okay, now you're ready. Now I can tell you that's yours." Because it wasn't. You could have told me that. When we first got together, you could have said, "This is gonna be the one you gonna marry," and I would have laughed at you like, "That's not happening." But I wasn't mature at the time. Like, I've matured a lot.
And like, what did it take for you to mature? I mean, you don't have to go.
This is.
Am I putting you on the spot?
Not at all. I mean, I love talking about my relationship, in as much as, the struggles of my relationship more intimately than the people out there in TV land. Don't enter into marriage lightly, okay? It's real. There are bills. There are, you wake up sometimes and when you don't like that person you're looking at, it's real.
How do you deal with that? Because I already said, like, when I get married in my home, I have to have me a she shack.
What's a she shack? Explain it to me, then I answer your question.
It's like a man cave, like how the men have themselves without worrying about the woman.
Make that go viral. Hashtag she shack.
I have to have me a she shack, because at the end of the day, I grew up the only child, so being up under someone all the time, that's much for me. And I really can't see myself being up under someone all the time in my marriage. So I want my own little room where I can be dazzle it out and make it girly with my TV and I even set up for a queen bed in there so I can just chill.
Your Barbie dream room.
Yes, an hour or two out the day, away from the hubby, away from the kids.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because that kind of goes hand in hand with my answer as far as realizing that I was ready. Like, a lot of people ask me why her or whatever, and honestly, because you got to know who's going to go through your struggle with you. And there was some people that I knew was going to go there with me, and some people I wasn't sure about. But time and time again, when we was going through stuff, she was there. It was some nights it was pulling teeth, and other nights it was, knockdown drag-outs. Nothing abusive, but you had those times where you really don't feel like dealing with each other. And when you don't feel like dealing with each other, you walk away, and then that's the only person you can think about. It's like, dang, I need to be back with that person. And that's why I say that you having a she shack is important even in the same house, because one of the things that we don't believe in is going to two separate places building wise. You got a problem, you gonna go to the spare bedroom, you gonna get yourself together.
And at the end of the day, that's a good thing, because I feel like, a lot of marriages, hell, a lot of relationships, the people go separate ways to, work on the problem at hand, instead of, going in that bedroom or taking a couple of days apart. Not even a couple of days, maybe like one, to like actually like, make it work.
And it's a lot of people that don't believe in putting in the work to relationships are work. Dealing with people it's work. Like dealing with me, dealing with myself, me dealing with me is work.
But then at the end of the day, you have to look at it. It's no rule book on how to handle your issues that you go through in your relationship.
That book will be coming out 2020. That's gonna be authored by me.
It's no rule book on how to handle these situations in your relationship. It's a lot of things that you have to take into consideration. And I remember when I was single and before my best friend got real sick and he passed away, he always told me that relationships are about how much bullshit you can take off the person that you really want to be with. And
facts.
I feel like when he said that, I was like, what? But bruh, I get it. Like it's so much to deal with the daily shit that you got going on, because ain't no telling what you may have going on. You may suffer from depression, losing your job, on the verge of losing your job, and then you come to this individual that you're with and they're suffering from shit, and
you gotta be able to make it work.
You gotta be able to make it work, and it is teeth pulling.
And I mean, it's teeth pulling, hair pulling, it's knock down, drag out nights. Like, I'm gonna be halfway real with y'all, because I can't share all of my business. Y'all don't get that in one episode. Maybe Miss Josetta have me back, but that that you want to deal with somebody, that's the one. And I knew that she was the one. Like, it was kind of a process of elimination type thing. One day I woke up and I looked in the mirror, and dealing with my own struggles, I said, in my mind, I said, you ugly as hell. Like, I didn't feel like walking out the house. And on a regular day, anybody would tell you, I think I'm the shit, and then some. Confident, not arrogant. But on that particular morning, I felt like I needed to crawl under the dirt and just be there. And something in the universe was moving. The spirit was moving, and she came in the bathroom. She walked up behind me. She hugged me from behind, and she said, I just want you to know how beautiful you are. I love you and I appreciate you. And it was nothing about my demeanor. I know there was nothing about my demeanor that gave it off, but she was led to do that. And I was like, well, if she loved my ugly ass, then I mean, I must be worth something. And I got to my nines and looked the part for the rest of the day, even though on the inside I was feeling like shit. It was like, if she sees that in me, I need everybody else to see what she sees. Forget how everybody else feel about me.
Right. So, with that being said, because we kind of got off the topic, when y'all first started talking, God wasn't there. Did y'all attend church together when y'all first started talking?
We actually met at the church.
That is right.
We were attending the same church, and some will say that God was there. I'm going to tell you, clarifying statement, he was not present. He watched, but he wasn't active. We were in the same church together, and we were in ministry together. But the lifestyles that we led weren't nothing crazy, but it just wasn't pleasing to God.
Okay.
And we matured past that. She told me one day that she felt like I could help her improve her walk by teaching her things that she didn't know. I'm like, how do you know that I know this stuff? Like, you assuming? And she was like, God spoke to me, and because I had conversations with other people about that particular calling in my life, I said, okay, maybe he whispered in your ear a little bit, but right now my phone disconnected, so I ain't get that calling from him. Like, you know.
So she approached you.
She did approach me.
Wow, that's a whole nother topic of discussion.
Yes, I'm telling you, this is a series in the making. But when I knew that God entered into our relationship when I met her daughter, and I'll never forget it. And that's a joke between me and my baby girl. We were in the kitchen one day at her mom's place, and she's freaking out. Baby girl is freaking out, like, and we're like, what is wrong with you? What's your issue? She was 5 years old at the time, and she said, I don't want you to marry my mommy. Like, we ain't been talking for a whole 2 years. Like, it was maybe a year and a half at this point. And we're like, why do you feel that way? And she was saying because she didn't want to have 3 fathers. Her father, her birth father, her father God, so then I would be her father, her third father.
Oh,
and I was
that's lit.
That's crazy.
That's lit.
From a 5-year-old. Okay. So she said, how about this? How about you wait until mommy dies? You wait until you die. Then y'all can get married and you can be my father in heaven.
From a 5-year-old.
From a 5-year-old. And at that point I was like, okay, God, you telling me to teach the child, because it's
Let me say, you're doing a great job at being daddy.
I'm trying.
I know that's a big responsibility. I think that's a lot of the reason why you grew up too, because of her, right?
Definitely. When I was a child, I thought as a child, but when I became her father, I put away those childish things. Most people say, but when I became a man, no, I was born a man, like male body parts and all. But it's something about having a child, especially a daughter, like you don't know how strong you are. I'm maybe 160 pounds soaking wet, maybe. But if you was to harm a hair on her head, I'm like...
You gotta fuck shit up.
I'm like the juggernaut. Like, you can't... I don't even like to think about it, because there's some states that consider that premeditated, you know? But I feel like God spoke to me through her, and that's when God really entered our relationship, because then I felt the need to teach her how to pray, to show her to practice prayer, to show her that it's more to a relationship than opening doors, pulling out chairs, paying bills. You have to have something bigger than you, controlling you, because yes, me and mommy aren't gonna like each other all the time,
right?
But we're gonna reconcile, and we have unfortunately had some arguments in front of her, but above all else, you have to show reconciliation. And I believe that that's one thing that God teaches, or Jesus teaches in the Bible. Reconcile. Like,
right.
He you have to practice forgiveness, and if nothing else, that would be the seed that I say is the God in our relationship. There's a bunch of other things that puts him in our relationship outside of going down the altar and speaking before the pastor, but that by itself is number one.
I think looking back on like my previous relationships and stuff, like when I first started dating, I always wanted like a guy to like attend church as much as I did. That person, you know, who was always there, had, you know, knew God or whatever. But you know what's crazy is I never received that. Like,
you never received
like a guy who attends church as much as me. As a matter of fact, I always, you know, get the ones who struggle with, you know, actually understanding, you know, who God is.
Well, I would have to talk to, and I'm sure that I haven't.
And it's nothing wrong with it.
I hadn't had a chance to have a conversation with your boyfriend now, as far as his stance on that. But I would definitely be interested in talking to guys like that, because sometimes they don't realize how that God is in their life, even if they don't believe in God. You know, I have people in my life who, when they entered my life, they were atheists. And I explained to them, you can't be atheist. That's not possible. To say you don't believe in something is to acknowledge the existence of it, number one. But when you think about the different struggles, and sometimes if we're having a conversation now and I say you struggle with this, that, and the third, something got you through it besides yourself. Mm-hmm. You might not realize right now, like, dang, he right. But I've gotten so many phone calls with that.
I've had a lot of like conversations. I've had a lot of conversations with people, and I just had to say.
I'm sorry, this is my dad calling me, and I don't. Hang on, let me tell him that I apologize. I'm so sorry.
Anything would happen on topic of discussion.
Dad, what's up? Nothing. We're recording for my friend's YouTube channel right now.
Hey, Dad.
All right. He sends his hello. He said to call him back. Anything happens. I know when you first started topic of discussion, the biggest thing was anything can happen.
Anything can happen. It's okay.
But I agree with you 100%. Like, my question to you, because I don't.
I honestly feel like, a lot of the times I feel like I'm on this journey of, finding my purpose for the people that I connect with. And I think a lot of the times the guys who I have chose to, like, date, I felt like it was God's duty to drop me in their life to show them that, it's someone higher. That, you get what I'm saying? I may not be wording it the right way.
You're wording it completely correct. Because, the females that I've dealt with in the past, the situation has been, they would tell me, you have a calling on your life. You have a calling. Mm-hmm. Since I was 13 years old, people have told me, you have a calling on your life. And I tell anybody, well, I don't know about that calling because my phone is disconnected. I didn't get a voicemail. But they tell me that.
You accept it.
And I don't feel like I'm supposed to be a preacher. I'm maybe a deacon, but I don't. Sometimes it takes a woman to go out and be that kind of evangelist. And my lifestyle right now ain't preacher worthy.
You'll be surprised, like, what will happen. I had someone tell me that. Believe it or not, I had someone tell me that I was going to marry a pastor of a church, and I laughed in their face. I was like, who? Well,
sounds like we got some growing up to do. It ain't nothing wrong with that.
Because people see things that you don't see, and I understand that. But where I am at in my life, I don't see me marrying no pastor.
This is my big thing. Thinking about the main question with God being in your relationship. Or in or out of your relationship. God, Allah, Buddha, Jehovah, Jireh, whatever you call him, there is a higher power. Because you don't control your partner getting up tomorrow. Don't dictate whether or not you get up. Something got you up. When you mad, when you want to do harm to your partner, or when you just don't want to talk to your partner, something is pulling you to your partner. That's basic physics for the scientists out there.
Do you think you guys have to believe in the same God in order for the relationship to work?
If you don't believe in the same God, come have a session with me. I'm gonna tell you some things about yourself. I want
to hear this section.
Because growing up, my parents believed in two different gods, two different deities.
Gosh, I want to know how that was.
My mother was deep into the Egyptian gods. And my father was just, regular Baptist Christian, and then later on, my stepmother, she was really deep into studying Islam. She became a Muslim, and they have the Quran, but when you put the books together, it's all the same information. Right. It's a couple names change. But it's all the same. And growing up in a household like that, it's like it was war, because on one end you're happy that your partner's going to church or going to the temple or the mosque or whatever, but it's like, dang, why are they not with me?
Do you think that causes tension in a relationship?
In their relationship, yes. If it was I mean, but that's one of the things
And I thought about that because like a couple of years ago, like a lot of guys who were Muslim will always approach me.
I mean, and we as men who believe in the Nation of Islam, shout out to the Nation of Islam, the followers of Islam, there is a strong presence to pull women in because there's a different kind of respect for women in the Nation of Islam. I've studied some of the Quran myself, so I understand it. I don't follow under those teachings, but I understand them.
It was crazy. It was like a year where a lot of guys who were Muslim was like just attracted to me. And you know me, I'm honest. I would tell them like, how would we work out? Like, and that was before I went on this whole flightish journey. Like I call myself a flightish. So
and I know.
And you know what it is. It's like those people, I don't label myself as a Christian. I pull from different things and make a set of my own principles.
For those that don't understand, it's like it's just that puzzle of religion, because she's not taking just what she likes. She takes what makes sense to her. Some of the things that make sense to her she doesn't agree with, but she understands them, and it comes together to create that, and that's where she follows.
So like that year, like when I had like a bunch of Muslims like trying to talk to me, that was on my little bandwagon of going down the road of trying to be an effective Christian. I'm like, damn, why the hell all these Muslims talking to me? I can't talk to you because if we get married, I'm in the Christian church, you're the Nation of Islam. What's that gonna do for me and the kids? Like I think so beyond sometimes. So I never dated a Muslim, but they be dropping a lot of knowledge.
There's a lot of studying that has to happen in order to be in the Nation of Islam or to follow under Allah. The most important thing when it comes to having any type of spiritual deity in your relationship is understanding the place of the deity. Like for me and my wife, we have the understanding we're not going to two separate churches.
Okay.
And that's why I feel like the religious side or the spiritual side of the relationship comes in, because we have to be in the same institution. Whether she's getting fed there and I'm not, or I'm getting fed there and she's not, we have to be in the same building so we're getting the same teaching. It helps you grow.
And you see a lot of like people go to different churches like in their marriages and stuff.
Yes.
Like I know my grandmother goes to a different church, and my grandfather goes to a different church now. And I kind of, when I get married, I want us to also go to the same church.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I actually think that that's something that's admirable when you think about it, because it helps to build family. At the end of the day, I feel like whatever God or deity you believe in, number one is about family. Mm-hmm. Number two is about healing. Because any god, be it the Egyptian gods, the Muslims, everybody except Buddha, from what I've studied, and please forgive me out there who can correct me, but family is the base, healing is the base, and that begins with a focus. Buddha does teach you to have inner peace and all of that, but I don't see the family aspect.
I don't. On my whole research with Buddhism and Buddha, I don't see the whole family aspect on it. And I vibe with Buddha because it focuses a lot on the inner peace.
Mom, if you see this, please let us know in the comments below clarify Buddha for us, because I know you know. Shout out to my stepmother. She's on it.
Yeah, and it's just crazy. Like I be doing my research on like everything. Like I really, you see me with my whole little Buddhas and stuff. I have 2 Buddha statues and stuff. Mm-hmm. Just like the whole inner peace. I feel like in order to get through a lot of things, like with a calm path, you have to have that inner peace.
And if in that inner peace, when it comes to having a relationship, can be reflected in whatever religion you choose. One of the things that has helped me in my relationship and helped me to counsel others in their relationship is having their spiritual book, whatever that doctrine is, as a guide, because if you have conflict with your boyfriend, I can show you in the Bible or in the Quran or in the Torah, like, this is why you shouldn't have conflict with him. And while you might not agree with it, you'll understand that, hey, this makes sense. And as humans will say, but this wasn't happening in my situation. But the root, the elements are still there. And that helps to resolve a lot of conflict. So it is important to have a spiritual base of some sort.
Oh, okay, counselor. Let me find out. You got to be a whole marriage counselor.
I'm trying
in a
to.
relationship. No,
I'm trying to.
They have marriage counselors, but you know what I think is needed too are relationship counselors as well.
And see, the problem that most of us face when it comes to counseling relationship is the name. I feel like I see myself more as a relationship reconciler. Because I want you to be healed. People have a negative stigmatism when it comes to counseling, and if we change our mindset, which is going to take some time to do, then we fix that. But if you have somebody that's open to reconciliation, it changes a lot. If you don't have a spiritual base of some sort in your relationship, if you don't believe in something higher than yourself, please get that in your life, because you don't run anything. You don't have to be in the hospital on your sick bed. You don't have to be locked up. You don't have to be none of that going on. You don't have to be down and out. But understand that something got you from birth to wherever you are now. And that's the foundation of that's my life foundation. That's my relationship foundation. Because even when we don't agree about the teaching, we agree that we go through the same thing at some point.
And I feel like, that's important in a relationship, to have that base. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you
for dropping that knowledge. Like, I knew you was, like, educated, like, on that whole, like, relationship. Because before, like, I got, like, serious in my relationship. He been counseling me because, like I always say, I'm not really the female to do the relationship, and I'm sitting up here doing a relationship because I have goals for myself. I want to have kids. In my mind, in order to have kids, I need a husband. So, in my head, listen, I said in my head, I don't knock anyone for what they do.
Believe it or not, those of you that follow, you got two free spirits that are helping each other, because even before I got married, there was a lot of things that I didn't believe in or that I didn't follow. Like, when my wife was in the hospital, it's like, when I had those tough times, this was one of those people that was like, you can handle it, you're going to be there. And that's, for me, the manifestation of a higher power, because while I can't talk directly to God, they say that if you look at him, you're dead. But I can't talk directly to him, but he will send people your way. And Netta has definitely been one of those people.
You have to pay attention to your friends. And I'm going to say this, and I'm probably going to end topic of discussion, but you have to pay attention to the people that God have in your life, and you have to pay attention to those people who just pop up and deliver a message to you. A lot of my friends tell me certain things, and I don't pay attention to all of them, but some of them stick out. But when I have those people who don't know me from a can of paint, and they drop something about me, and they don't know me from a can of paint, I pay attention to that, because I feel like that's a message that God is sending me that I need to know.
And sometimes it'll happen that way, so I completely understand. I completely agree. I could go on and on about that by itself. We're going to have to end it there. I wish, and since I'm on TOD and anything can happen, I'm going to put Netta on the spot real quick. Whenever you get a chance, just bring the music back to TOD. The intro music, the outro music. I love the vibe.
Well,
I love it.
In order for me to do that, I would probably have to switch my devices, because all the music is coming from my Apple Music on my phone.
Well, TOD, it's gonna happen. We're gonna make it happen.
Y'all gonna see the growth in this. But
well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate this.
Yes.
And I mean, you got me inspired to go do some things. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night. God bless.